After gobbling up the Lions in Week 1, Tampa Bay fans hope their Bucs can feast on their West Coast visitors today. Live from Tampa Stadium, the Buccaneers 1-0 against the 0-1 Los Angeles Rams. A sultry Tampa, Florida today. Game time temperature 89 degrees. The skies opened up just moments ago. We expect more thunderstorms before it's all over. And with that high humidity, it could take its toll on the players this afternoon. And hi, everybody. I'm Brad Nessler along with Dan Jiggetts. Dan, Tampa Bay got off to a great start in Week 1. Vinny Testaverde and the offense for the Buccaneers looked pretty good.
Brad, Vinny wasn't the only star for the Buccaneers, though. Gary Anderson, the Rams say, is the key guy they think they have to stop. Last week, he touched the ball 27 times. They said that's 50% of their offense, and they know they've got to stop him from hitting up inside.
Meanwhile, Los Angeles got off to a rocky start. They've had holdout situations and some injuries, and it really took its toll against Green Bay.
Yeah, Jim Everett couldn't get into his rhythm last week, and the reason why, both of his wide receivers, Henry Ellard and Flipper Anderson, were both out during the preseason with hamstring pulls. Now, they had a whole week to work, and it should get ready today, and they should have a fine day.
Got it. Hey, the Buccaneers won the toss. They will receive. Mike Lansford to tee it up for Los Angeles. Back deep. Danny Peebles for the Tampa Bay Bucs. And Week 2 is underway. It'll be Peebles at the 9. Got across the 20, cartwheeled his way to the 21. Down there defensively, Greg Clark on the special teams to make the stop. So out comes Vinny Testaverde, the top-ranked quarterback through 1 week of this 1990 NFL season. His numbers from a week ago.
Looked so calm and comfortable last week, Brad.
Got in his rhythm early. Here's the front three you'll see. Reed, Wright, and Brian Smith. The linebacking core, Wilcher will start, along with Kevin Green outside, Stams and Strickland inside. And the secondary, Sutton, Humphrey, Newman, and Newsom. And Tampa Bay, first down at its own 22-yard line to start things off. Off the left side, and maybe a loss of a yard for Bruce Perkins, the free agent rookie who's starting in that Tampa Bay backfield with Gary Anderson, who we spoke of. Tampa Bay, their offensive front, Gruber, one of the best in the business. McHale, Grimes back in there after 78 straight starts. He didn't start a week ago. Beckles, Taylor, and Ron Hall is the tight end. Joining Vinny Testaverde, Bruce Perkins, and Gary Anderson in the backfield. Mark Carrier, an all-pro, along with Bruce Hill on the outside. A loss of 1 at second down, 11, Tampa Bay. Testaverde's first throw. Anderson in the flat. Lost the ball. Rams have it. At the 25-yard line, the Rams cover it. It's right from the defensive line, the nose tackle.
When you get out in space, the one thing they want you to do is hold on to the football. If you know somebody's trying to wrap you up, you just got to snuggle up to that football. Gary Anderson here carrying the ball a little loosely. You see him trying to put on a couple of moves, but Alvin comes out and knocks the ball out. Rams recover.
What a big break for the Rams early. And they work offensively for the first time at the Buck 24-yard line. Jim Everett at the controls for Los Angeles. Delayed give to Kurt Warner. Warner picks up 5 inside the 20 to the 19-yard line before Broderick Thomas made the stop. Defensively for Tampa Bay, and they're 34. Up front, Kurt Jarvis is the nose tackle. Reuben Davis and John Cannon, the defensive ends. The linebacking core, and it is a good one. Urban Randall and Eugene Marv inside. Broderick Thomas and Winston Moss outside. Second down and 5 at the Buck 19. Toss sweep to Warner. Flags are down, and Warner makes it to the 10. Penalty marker back near the line of scrimmage. We may have a holding call. Mark Robinson in there to slow down Kurt Warner.
You're in that Rams offensive line. That's exactly what you don't want at that time, because you're down there. You got a nice little drive going after the turnover.
Holding, 56 offense. Second down.
It's Doug Smith, the 13-year veteran. It's unusual those old technicians get caught holding down there.
So they'll back it up, and the line of scrimmage becomes the 29-yard line. Rams up front. Pankey and Slater, two wily old veterans, along with Smith At the center spot, Newberry and Duval Love are the guards. Pat Carter starts at tight end. We'll see a lot of Damone Johnson. The backfield, Kurt Warner, Buford McGee, Henry Ellard, and Willie Anderson, two of the best in the business, the wide receivers. Jim Everett with a 2nd and 15 now at the Buck 28. Everett with time, deep in the middle. Holohan with a one-handed catch at the 10.
Pete Holohan is Jim Everett's go-to guy. He's the guy who has so much confidence in him. And Pete Holohan has good hands, and that's one of the reasons why a quarterback will have confidence. And you're right in the middle of your screen. You're going to see Holohan right there. Push off the linebacker, Marv, open himself up, get between the zone, and make the catch. Here's another look at it now. After he pushed off that linebacker, he grabs that thing as a one-hand stab.
And a 1st and goal, Los Angeles. Warner, the tailback there in the Rams' eye. He gets the call. Broke one tackle. Got a couple to the 8. It'll be 2nd and goal. Eugene Marr from his inside linebacker spot, along with Kurt Jarvis, the nose tackle, made the stop.
Brad, when we visited with the Rams earlier in the week, they told us they were going to run a little go-at-your-throat football, and that's apparently what they're doing right now.
Last week, the Rams were turnover prone, and it cost them dearly in the loss to Green Bay. And here early, it's Tampa Bay that's had the problem with a Gary Anderson fumble recovered by Alvin Wright. And the Rams set up shop at the Buck 8, 2nd down. Both wide receivers split to the near side. Here's the give to Warner again. Not much. Jarvis and Davis. Hamilton from the secondary also helped out.
I want to show you something, though, on the replay. Look outside where he ran. If he goes one hole out further on the right of your screen, look at the blocking that takes place right there. Now, if he continues out, okay, roll it, guys. If he continues out, outside, you can see he can make a hole outside, but he went right up there where everybody is. Not going to get any yardage in the middle of that pile.
The Rams 43% on 3rd down last week. Here's their initial 3rd down situation of the ball game, and it's a big one, 3rd and goal at the Tampa Bay 6. Holohan, the motion man. Everett, touchdown. Buford McGee. 6-yard scoring pass, Everett to McGee.
You blitz Jim Everett, you're going to get burned. Now the blitz comes right up in the middle. He sees the blitz coming. Now watch him very calmly react to Eugene Marr coming up in his face. He knows that middle is open now. The secondary has to react, and he just tosses it in there. Pitch and catch.
Lansford in for the point after. And the Rams fullback in the end zone first. Extra point is good. 10 minutes and 46 seconds into the game. The Rams by 7. The Rams by a touchdown early, 7-0. Jim Everett hooks up with Buford McGee, his fullback. The drive started on Alvin Wright's fumble recovery. Heath English, the punter, as you see the drive, just 24 yards. Heath English, the punter, will tee it up and kick away as Lansford, apparently on the extra point, hurt himself. We'll wait and see if he'll be back. And you see Mike Lansford, the regular kicker for the Rams, and that could become a story before this one's all over. Danny Peebles, the speedster from North Carolina State, again back deep, and it is a high short kick, as you might expect from a new kicker. Cobb takes it at the 20. Reggie Cobb weaves his way to the 35-yard line. We understand on Mike Lansford a slight Achilles pull, and he may kick again. John Robinson obviously is hoping so.
John Robinson, you know, how many injuries has he had already this season? And now, you know, you don't expect your kicker to go down, but hey, bad things happen sometimes. John Robinson's good at making the adjustments.
He is, and he told us this week that, you know, it's almost comical. He said we've had so many injuries, if we don't smile about it, we'll cry. First down, Bucks at their own 36, trailing by a touchdown early. Draw play. Anderson near the 37, maybe got one. Brett Baronez in on the stop defensively, and he'll see a lot of action today because Mike Wilcher is nursing an injury, the left outside linebacker.
Brad, one of the things you saw there was the Rams shift into a 4-man front, bringing a linebacker up on the line of scrimmage, an additional linebacker. They feel that the Buccaneers like to hit the 5-hole a great deal. When we talked to Fritz Sherman, their defensive coordinator, during the week, he said about 35–40% of their runs are between those 5 holes.
Anderson only got a yard. It's 2nd and 9. Testaverde to his tight end, Hall, into Ram territory at the 46-yard line. That was the battery last week that had the long touchdown pass against Detroit.
It's apparent that Vinny Testaverde is getting very comfortable throwing to Ron Hall. Hall working against Wilcher on the play. Nice move, nice escape off the line of scrimmage, right on the corner of your screen. And when you get that escape as a tight end, you beat that linebacker off the line of scrimmage, then he's trailing you the whole play. And then you just have to rely on your quarterback to put the ball in there.
Hall picked up 16 on the reception.
Smart guy, went to the University of Hawaii.
He knew what he was doing. At the Ram 47, first down Tampa Bay. Bruce Hill in motion. Anderson broke a tackle and got to the 45. He picked up 2. Frank Stam's in on the stop defensively for the Rams.
Doug Reed had a shot at the play in the backfield. He got nice penetration, but Gary Anderson with good escapability just gave him a little shake there. I think he might still be looking for him back there.
Anderson's going to get a breather. Reggie Cobbs comes in. You can bet those guys are going to be close to those fans on the sideline today.
I just have it attached to the ear hole of my helmet.
2nd down and 7. Testaverde over the middle. In and out of the hands of Jesse Anderson, his second tight end.
Jesse Anderson, just a rookie. Bucks like him because he's got 4.5 speed for a tight end. That's pretty quick. 4.5 to 4.6. That's moving it along. But the one thing that he has to learn how to do is hold onto the football when you're wide open, coming on a slant route.
Ray Perkins off to a 1-0 start after the win over the Lions last week, and he told us before that game he felt like he had a pretty good team. They proved it a week ago at the Silverdome. They're trying to even things up today. Their third downs last week brilliant against the Lions. Let's see what they do on 3rd and 7 here. Testaverde, Hall's got it again at the 24-yard line. That one good for 19 yards, Dan.
Very similar to the route that he was successful with against Detroit last week. Almost a seam right now. He'll come out on the right-hand side of your screen. There he is, 82, escapes off the line. Once again, cleanly, the linebackers really don't jam him up. Runs past Strickland there and gets into the hole.
The reaction of 4th-year quarterback Vinny Testaverde. First down, Bucks at the Ram 25. Rams lead 7-0, 7:51 to go first quarter. Testaverde changes things up at the line. Here comes the blitz. I think he had the right call, but he didn't get it to Mark Carrier.
And Mark Carrier had some traffic coming his way, too. You can see the free safety closing in on him to put the hit on him.
Testaverde's quarterback rating 132 after week 1. He had 3 touchdown passes last week.
Now, the DB fell down on the play. Now, watch this. This turf is a little slick. It rained right before the game, and right there, it goes down. If Mark Carrier is up for that football, he might get into the end zone.
Lucky for Bobby Humphrey over there. 2nd and 10. Carrier and Hill both split to the left side for Testaverde. Vinny to throw. Plenty of time. Completes it to Carrier. Gets up and got a couple more. Close to the 18, but it'll still bring up a 3rd down situation and a long 3.
Brad, I think you said the key thing. Vinny Testaverde had an awful lot of time to sit back, view the field, and throw the football. The Rams want to get some pressure on him. I would not be surprised to see them gamble a little bit more. Testaverde continues to be as hot as he is. Interesting thing, though, we talked about Gary Anderson being a key component of the offense. Testaverde's been getting the ball in a lot of people's hands early on in this ball game.
This drive started over 3.5 minutes ago, and it's come up with a 3rd down and 4 from the gun. They'll keep it on the ground to Harvey, and I think he's got the first down or very close. John Harvey, first-year player out of Texas El Paso, is on the developmental squad a year ago, and he might have a big first down for Tampa Bay. And if not, Ray Perkins may decide to go for it anyway.
Watch Harvey on the play, and let's see if he can get down there to the 15-yard line. And he's at the 20 crossing. Now look at that hole that his offensive line has created over that left side with Paul Gruber, the former #1 draft choice. You guys open it up over there, and it looks like he's across the stripe. But it's 4th down. It's just a little shy of where they marked it.
Ray Perkins thought about it for a long time and then sent in Steve Christie, his rookie kicker out of William & Mary. 1 for 1 on the year. He was perfect in the preseason, so he's yet to miss a field goal in a Buck uniform. Until now. Wide left. And the Bucks waste a good-looking drive. 6:01 to go first quarter. The Rams by 7.
Steve Christie on his first field goal attempt of the game is low and to the left. Just pushed the ball and did not barely clear his offensive line. You saw how low the ball was when it came off his foot. Now, he's a part of the controversy down here in Tampa Bay. Donald Igwe-Buike, their former kicker, never missed a field goal from inside the 35-yard line. And Christie missed his first opportunity at home.
From 32. So the Rams take over, leading 7-0. 6:01 to go first quarter. Flipper Anderson, the motion man. Warner got 5 to the 25. We talked about the weather conditions. It is muggy. The rain just before kickoff, and we just saw a couple of great bolts of lightning here a moment ago. So hold on to your hats, folks. 2nd down and a long 4 coming up.
Fred, I think one of the things you can expect out of that Rams offense is they want to dominate the line of scrimmage. So what I expect them to do is keep hitting up in there with the football. Now that they got a little bit of a lead early on, expect them to see them keep striking up in there and then go with their play-action passing game.
The pitch, Warner handles it. 1st down. And he gets out near the 33. Kurt Warner out there where Wayne Haddix finally got him down.
We talked to John Robinson. He said a lot of people may think that Kurt Warner is over the hill, but he sees a lot of instinctive running in him now. Stop guessing, you know, get to the line of scrimmage and maybe take a look around. Now he says he just gets up in there and hits the hole. And watch him hit the hole on this one. You can see him looking for a little action up in there, but the thing is he's heading up the field. And they don't want to run it east and west. Head north.
Of course, a long-time Seattle Seahawk. And their leading career rusher released through Plan B free agency, picked up by the Rams. 1st down, Los Angeles. Play fake by Everett. Got it out to Anderson. Completes it near the 48-yard line. And that'll be a pickup of 15. Ricky Reynolds made the stop.
You noticed Flipper Anderson on that cut. It didn't look like he really went after it. You know, usually when you see him make a cut, one of the things the Buccaneers defensive backs have said is when they come out of their cuts, these Ram wide receivers, they really come out of them. You got to be ready to accelerate to the football. So we'll have to keep an eye on both Anderson and Ellard coming out of their cuts today.
Battle of run and shoots early. The Lions have a lead on the Falcons. 7-0 here, Rams, and they've got it 1st down at midfield. Come on back! 3 wide receivers set for Everett, and he wants it all. Incomplete. Anderson almost pulled that one in. Ricky Reynolds was covering. I don't think Jim got on that ball when he wanted to, Dan.
No, but Anderson looked like the defensive back on the play, Brad. You saw him just kind of push off Ricky Reynolds when he realized that the ball was underthrown. Now watch his reaction as he turns back and looks for the ball. You'll see him make the adjustment. Now Reynolds has got his back turned right now, and as he turns around, it's too late. You see Anderson coming back. No incidental contact there because both people are looking for the football. That's the reason why there was no call on the play.
Anderson takes to the sideline after the long pattern. 2nd and 10 Rams. Delayed give to Gaston Green. His first carry of the day, nets 5 yards. Eugene Marv and Winston Moss combined for the tackle.
Folks, if you're sitting at home, one thing you want to look for in this Buccaneer defense is the activity of their linebackers. That's where they really feel the strength of their defense is.
Vinny Testaverde, who led a nice drive for Tampa before the missed field goal. His tight end, Ron Hall, they're thinking about a way to hook up for the 3rd time today when they get the ball back. And the defense hoping to give it back. It's 3rd and 5, Los Angeles. Cleveland Gary, a one-handed catch and a first down. Rams at the 33-yard line. He just checked into the lineup. Winston Moss ran him out, but Cleveland Gary, the second-year pro out of Miami, with a nice grab there.
Cleveland Gary told me earlier in the week that he felt he was just a shade away from being 100%. He's been suffering from back spasms. They said, you know, I'm just a snap away from being completely back.
John Robinson so excited about his versatility and the fact he can make the catches out of the backfield. Boy, did he make one there.
It's one thing about Ernie Zampese, their offensive coordinator in this offense. They like to go to a lot of people and spread the football around.
First down, Rams at the Buck 33. Wide open in the flat. Pat Carter, the tight end, and he's got another Ram first down. 13-yard pickup. Pat Carter, who this year has caught more passes than he has his entire career, I think. He had a couple a week ago.
That's got to be saying, hey, I kind of like this Ram offense here.
Damone Johnson was a long holdout and just came into camp on Wednesday. The last guy to get into the Rams facility. And Pat Carter's taken advantage of that and done a good job. The Rams drive has already covered 60 yards. Henry Ellard in motion. Flags are down.
Ball start, 67 offense. First down.
Duval Love, the right guard, jumped early. Tom Dooley, our referee today. Duval Love played tackle last week.
He said he wasn't really as comfortable out there as he is inside. One of the reasons why guys like to play inside as opposed to tackle is because they feel like they're on an island. That's what Duval said. You get out of that tackle position, you feel like you're on an island deserted, whereas inside you got a couple of big guys all around you. Get nice and comfy.
Nice and cozy in the middle. First and 15. Jim Everett's 5 out of 6 for 64 yards and a touchdown. Kurt Warner. The Bucs stretch it out nicely and drop him after a 2-yard gain.
What you want your linebackers to do is pursue to the football, Brad, and that's what these guys in the Buccaneers do so well. Winston Moss, their number 51, getting in on the stop. Now watch the linebacker flow. 54, 99, 51, everybody moving to the ball. The defensive line keeps those blockers off of them and allows them to slide along the line of scrimmage and to make the stop.
That defensive front went out there in perfect unison, didn't they?
Yep.
Broderick Thomas made the hit. It is second down and 13. Rams up 7-0. We're under a minute. First quarter. Play fake. Everett has McGee again. Blasting his way down to the 14-yard line is Buford McGee with his second reception. Wayne Haddix and Urban Randall put a hat on him there, a pickup of 10.
Buford McGee was one of those guys we talked to out of the Rams. He was lifting some weights extra after practice and said he wanted to get ready because he felt like this one was going to be a real hot game and a very physical game. And apparently he is well prepared. Nice reception there out in the flat. Just comes over and gets 10 yards on the play.
John Robinson worried as always on the sideline. Third down and 3. Rams at the Buck 14-yard line. Everett to the end zone. Ellard, touchdown. Jim Everett, 2 scoring tosses on the day.
Keep in mind, last week, Henry Ellard was a guy that fumbled 3 balls. Now, he had fumbled 1 in his whole career before that. Now, here he goes working inside. He's going to go to the post and break back out. And the problem is Mark Robinson, number 30, slips for the Buccaneers right there in the end zone. As a result, Henry Ellard gets the score.
Lansford, even with that Achilles problem, in for the point after. No problem. And the Rams jump on top of Tampa Bay by 2 scores. A big crowd at Tampa Stadium wanting their Buccaneers to go to 2-0, but the Rams have different ideas. And Henry Ellard, who had a tough week against the Green Bay Packers last week, just picked up a 14-yard touchdown pass. Jim Everett's second of the day, and Keith English set to kick it away. Again, short to the near side. Reggie Cobb takes it on the hop. Slip, still trying to find room, and got it out near the 29, and a late flag came flying in.
Brett, I thought Reggie Cobb should have let the ball go out of bounds. It would have ended up on about the 25 or so. and they'd have gotten 5 yards and had to re-kick the ball, and they're kicking it short already, so you'd have got better field position.
Tom Dooley will have a chat with the field judge. The illegal block against Tampa Bay.
Illegal use of the hands, number 59, illegal block on the receiving team. First down. Timeout.
So now that's a double
Ray
whammy for the
Perkins'
Bucs.
team will start in a bit of a hole when we come back.
The reason why the Rams were able to score in a touchdown, watch the tight end, Pete Holohan, 81, coming off the line. Now, he's going to come out, and this really puts Ricky Reynolds, number 29, in a sweat, because he's going to see the tight end coming towards him, and he isn't sure whether or not he should pick up Ellert or stay with with Holohan, and the result is Henry Ellert gets a touchdown. Safety couldn't recuperate.
Buccaneers pick up only about a yard on first down, and that is going to bring our quarter to a close. A quarter that's belonged to the Los Angeles Rams. The end of one. LA 14, Tampa Bay nothing.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Mercedes-Benz, engineered like no other car in the world. Hewlett-Packard LaserJet printers, they'll get you noticed. And by Miller Lite. When it's Miller Lite, less filling tastes great.
We played a quarter at Tampa Stadium. A packed house watching the Rams and the Bucs, and so far it's been Los Angeles ball game, 14-0 Rams. With Dan Jiggetts, I'm Brad Nessler. We welcome you to Tampa Stadium, where the Buccaneers have a 2nd down and 9 at their own 16-yard line to start the second quarter. Tampa Bay's opening drive was impressive, but they missed a field goal, and the Rams took it down and scored. Testaverde. Gary Anderson looks like a first down. Pickup of 11. Vince Newsom made the stop.
We talked about how big a part of this offense Gary Anderson is, and one of the things he does so well is coming out of the backfield, running a circle route. He just went out of your screen, coming around on the side there, wide open. Now, the other thing that he does well is he makes you miss if you don't come up and wrap him up and get the shoulder on him. That's what happened to Fred Strickland of the Rams.
Playing his first game, regular season game, in 5 years here at Tampa Stadium, and of course that was as a member of the Tampa Bay Bandits of the USFL. First down, Bucs. Here comes a blitz. The Bucs pick it up, but Testaverde can't quite get it to Bruce Hill. Coming up next week, college football on CBS. What should be a beauty. That one could take 4 hours with the passes between Dan McGuire and Ty Detmer. San Diego State and BYU. Many of you will see Alabama and Georgia in the Southeastern Conference next Saturday at 3 o'clock Eastern. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area for college football.
Ty Detmer had another regular day, over 400 yards passing, 5 touchdowns.
Just a normal Saturday for him. 2nd down and 10. Bucs at their own 27th. Green comes on the blitz. Mark Carrier got it across the middle to the 31, and Testaverde really took a shot when he let go of that one.
Well, he hasn't been getting much pressure up to now, with Rams are getting a little bit more aggressive up front. Mike Peel is one of the guys that got in there. Let's see where the shot is now. Mike Peel goes right down low on Vinny Testaverde. He's trying to back up. The shoulder pad gets him right on the kneecap.
I thought that was an unwritten rule in the league. You didn't dive for the quarterback's knees.
If you're a defensive lineman, the unwritten and the written rule is to get to the quarterback.
They didn't get to Testaverde last week. He hasn't been sacked yet this year. 3rd down and 6. Here comes the blitz again. He's in trouble. Now he's been sacked, and it's Kevin Green.
Kevin Green working over there against Rob Taylor, number 72. The hardest thing to do is to block him far outside. Now he's going to be on the left-hand side of the screen, and right now he gets the hard corner on Taylor and just gets to the quarterback, Testaverde. Here's another look at it. You'll see Green coming right off the corner now. Taylor's in bad position because he's a little late. If you're late on those outside rushes, you're beat.
Mark Royals in to punt for Tampa Bay. Deep man is Mickey Sutton. He's going to field it on the hop at the 35. He's got room. A return of 13. 12 minutes and 59 seconds to go first half. The Rams by 2 touchdowns. 12:59 to go in the half, and the Rams have dominated. You see the rushing yards. It's all Los Angeles. Testaverde's looked pretty good, but Everett's been near perfect with 2 touchdown passes. It's 14-0 Los Angeles. They've got great field position right now at their own 48-yard line. And Dan, a lot of people thought that the 49ers obviously were the best team last year, that maybe the Rams are the second best in the business.
Well, they had a little bit of trouble last week, but they, again, you can attribute a lot of that to injuries and not being on time. But it certainly appears early on that they're getting back in stride. See those players over there on the Buccaneers sideline getting real close to that fan.
Bucks have been a little bit too cool so far.
See, the offensive linemen always get real close to the fans. Ever notice every time you find a shade or any place cool, you'll see all the linemen over there.
What shade they don't have, they make shade. That's why I stay close to you. First down, Rams. Holohan in motion. Everett wants to go to it. To the 35. Pickup of 16. The Rams quarterback hooks up with his tight end, H-back, Pat Holohan.
Brad, the Buccaneers like to play what they call an attack zone, and what it means is your linebackers will get back in zone coverage. You see Thomas right in front of you, but the problem is what he didn't do, the other part of the attack zone, is when somebody comes in your area, you latch onto them, and in that case, he just didn't do it. He allowed the tight end to get in between. Pete Holohan got in between in a little hole there. You see him tuck himself right in there between the linebackers and the secondary and makes the reception.
On first down, Everett pump fakes and goes deep for Anderson. Oh, what a catch! No, he's out of bounds.
Flipper thought he had that one in the air, and as he was going over, maybe he went out of bounds.
Side judge Dean Look was right on the spot and had a good look at it. Number 83, oh so dangerous.
Watch on that sideline as Flipper Anderson dives out, makes the reception, crosses over the goal line right there on the pylon, and then he goes out. Ball breaks the plane, it appeared to me, before he got, when he got into the end zone, he had the football and broke the plane. Then he went out of bounds.
We might have a review going on.
I'm sure we will.
They're going to take this one upstairs.
Cal Lepore is going to review it. He's the review official upstairs. We'll take another peek at it. Flipper Anderson may get a little bonus here.
Flipper says, come on, give it to me.
Here's another look at it now. Let's watch and see. When he makes the reception, catches the football, he glides into the end zone, and then he goes out of bounds. I think that's what the ruling's going to be. Right here, he makes the catch. No question about that. Now, crosses the goal line, and then he goes out of bounds. I say it's 6 points.
We'll find out in 2 minutes or less.
2 minutes, 2 seconds. Flipper was ready to do a flip.
Jim Everett thinks it's a touchdown.
After further review, the play will stand as called. It's incomplete. Second down.
Oh, boy, I don't agree with that at all. He catches the ball right there, and then you can see clearly his knee goes down, but he's already in the end zone with the football.
We'll do it all again. 2nd and 10, Rams at the Tampa Bay 35. A sprint draw to Gaston Green. Got about 3. Urban Randall in on the stop. What a game Urban Randall had last week against the Detroit Lions.
You know, Gaston Green got a little green in his face mask, too. That's playing football on natural turf. That's what you want, you know. Get a little grass in your helmet, get your uniform dirty. I remember as players, if you were playing on turf, you felt bad because you weren't dirty. And if you didn't get in a game on a regular grass like this, during warm-ups, you'd roll around so you got your uniform dirty so no one could tell that you didn't play.
None of those rug burns either. 3rd down and 6. Cox in motion. And he's got the catch and lost it. Let's see. If that's a catch, it's a fumble recovery by Rodney Rice. They're going to blow it dead. Aaron Cox had his hands on that momentarily. It'll be 4th down.
John Robinson does not want to see any more of his wide receivers with the drop season. Aaron Cox, a former #1 draft choice, had his hands on this one. They'll be over the left side of your screen. Everett puts the ball in there. Nice touch. Cox just couldn't hold on to it. He turned his head, never really looked the ball in. As a wide receiver, you got to look it in.
Mike Lansford, remember, nursing a slight Achilles pull, and this is a pretty long field goal for that situation. 49 yards. And it's short. So finally, Tampa Bay gets a break, but they trail by 14. Brad Nessler and Dan Jiggetts with you at Tampa Stadium, where the Buccaneers have spotted the Rams 2 touchdowns. And with 11:15 to go in the half, Tampa Bay takes over after Mike Lansford missed a 49-yard field goal. Hall, the tight end, in motion. Gary Anderson on the sweep. Kevin Green ran him down. Very little gain, if any, for Anderson. Don't forget, we got baseball back next weekend on CBS Sports. The Pirates and the Cardinals. National League East pennant hopes alive for the Pirates. They've got a half-game lead today. And the Red Sox and the Yankees in the American League action. All gets underway next Saturday at 12 noon right here on CBS Sports. Gary Anderson got a yard at 2nd and 9, Tampa Bay. Both Bruce Hill and Mark Carrier trot right in front of you there. Now Hill in motion to the ball. Anderson lost it again, and it went out of bounds. Second time today Gary Anderson's dropped the football.
One of the reasons why is the Rams are trying to strip the ball when they're making their stops. They realize that Gary Anderson's been a year away from football, so why not go out and see if you can pull it out? Now, they're really set up very nicely on the play. Kevin Green got dogged down there on the end. He got pushed on his back. Anderson has plenty of running room, but Frank Stamps comes up and just knocks that ball out while he's making the tackle. Watch Stamps right here stick his arm in there and just pop that ball out. That's something you teach your defensive people. It doesn't happen by luck.
You know, Frank Stamps, a second-year man out of Notre Dame, is happy by what happened with his Fighting Irish over Michigan last night.
Boy, what a win.
3rd down and short. Blitz. Testaverde got it away. It was almost intercepted, though. Anthony Newman came across the middle from his free safety spot, and again, Vinny Testaverde has to scrape himself.
You see him holding his ribs, Brad. He's holding his ribs. He's got rib pads on there, too, and it looks like he's in a lot of pain. We'll try to get a report on him on the sideline, but watch the hit he takes. I believe it's Bill Hawkins that comes in and gives him that shot late right there. They land on him, and he goes down, and he stretches his leg out, and you got 2 big guys landing on you. Testaverde's not feeling very well right now.
That's about 850 pounds worth of sheep landing on you back there. Royals to Mickey Sutton at the 22. Sutton weaves his way for about 11 yards on the return after a 38-yard kick. And with 9 minutes, 40 seconds to go in the half, Rams have it back, leading by 14.
They've already knocked off #1 Miami. Now BYU, an early Heisman frontrunner, Ty Detmer take on San Diego State, or see Alabama, Georgia next Saturday.
Living in Florida has its advantages, but the West Coast Rams by 2 touchdowns here at Tampa Stadium. And Vinny Testaverde, who went off holding his ribs, apparently all right. No one's been over there to examine him, and Chris Chandler, the backup quarterback, has yet to warm up.
They've just gotten the wind knocked out of him a little bit.
Jim Everett's been almost perfect. Gaston Green got a couple.
You know, one interesting thing about that Rams offensive line, Brad, is on the backside of plays such as that one they just ran, the offensive line will turn around and screen people off. So the only way to get to the play is to go behind the play. They're very adept at that. And that's one of the reasons why they have so much success in allowing their running backs to go to the point of attack and then read backward.
You saw the Pro Bowl statistics on Slater, Pankey, and Smith. They average 113 career starts among the 3 of them. 2nd down and 7. Kurt Warner, nothing doing. Kevin Murphy, the outside linebacker, made the hit. It'll be 3rd down and about 6.
Buford McGee tried to throw the lead block out there, number 24. Murphy played it beautifully, though, stringing the play out, getting rid of Buford, and making the stop.
Murphy led the Bucs in sacks last year, so he's a rangy outside linebacker. He stopped Kurt Warner after the short game. Detroit scores again on Atlanta. The Jets trying to win one for Bruce Coslett, their new head coach. Miami and Buffalo, big game in the AFC East. And you see the rest of the scores. It's 14-0 Rams here. Jim Everett either doesn't like the look of the Tampa defense or his own offensive alignment. He'll call a timeout.
Timeout, Los
8
Angeles.
minutes and 17 seconds to go in the half.
Team timeout.
And the Rams.
42nd timeout.
The Rams up 14-0. Jackie Slater in there at his normal right tackle spot today, but he's been hobbled a little bit, Dan.
Yeah, he had a sprained toe, and the Rams created something for him to help him out with that sprained toe. First of all, you see the yellow device on your left-hand side. That slides inside of his shoe, and it gives him some support up underneath of that toe. And the other thing they did was they gave him shoes with heavier soles. Robinson told us that, you know, all these shoes that the players are wearing now are so light and the bottom so flexible. Kind of want to go back to those old shoes you used to wear called XPs, where they weighed about 20 pounds a piece. You got to work out to putting them on.
15 years out of Jackson State.
They call him the dinosaur.
If he plays the rest of the season, which would be 15 more games, he would pass our own Merlin Olsen. Sorry, Merlin. In the career games list for the LA Rams. And the way Slater plays, he might play forever.
Merlin's another dinosaur.
You tell him that. I'm not gonna. Third down along 5 for Everett. Broken up by Wayne Haddix and a late flag.
Key situation here, was there contact before the ball got there?
And was the ball catchable?
I think Rice may be the guy they call it on, Rodney Rice, 31. Let's watch the play now. Watch Rice, 31. I believe he's the one that gets in a little early. That's at least the way the call goes. Boy, that's a tough one to call from that angle because you just can't see when he made the contact. This guy has all the answers.
Pass interference. Number 31 defense. First down.
Well, the general consensus, the same as that gentleman.
Look at this guy. He's got glasses on one side, earphones on the other, a helmet. He went and bought out the whole shop.
He's ready for just about any situation. 8 minutes and 10 seconds to go in the half, and John Robinson's Rams leading 14-0. And they're right back in Tampa Bay territory at the 44. Kurt Warner couldn't get outside. Nice open field tackle by Ricky Reynolds.
And maybe that's the difference in Kurt Warner. 3-4 years ago, maybe he could have hit that corner and really escaped and gained some yardage on the play. But I feel like he's running better up inside right now. Reynolds makes the play, though, very nicely. Stays in position, and watch, Warner tries to slide along the line of scrimmage, but Reynolds is up there and makes the stop. Once again, now see right there, that's where Kurt Warner early in his career would have just popped up and put it in another gear.
Ricky Reynolds was a holdout, just came in before last week's game with the Lions, did not play against Detroit. He has started here today. 2nd and 11. Complete, Ellard out of bounds, and he's going to have a first down. Pickup of 14.
One of the things that Jim Everett does so well, Brad, is he looks off his receivers. He understands they're playing zone coverage, so he's going to look off his receivers. And what that does is that causes the defensive backs to get out of position because you think he's not going to go over here. Now you see him right now, he's looking over left. Well, where's he going? He's going back to his right, looking off those receivers and making sure that the defensive backs don't know where he wants to go.
Even in pregame warm-ups, he does that in playing catch with Chuck Long, the backup quarterback. He did that same thing down on the field before the game. He wants to throw on first down. Ellard to the 13. Another Ram first down. And Henry Ellard, the all-pro from a year ago who had a tough week against Detroit, is making up for it here today.
He's got Velcro on his hands today. I thought that the Rams might have gotten away with something there. It looked like Pete Holohan left a little early on the play. Pete was looking around looking for a flag, it looked like, at the end of the play.
You see, 89, he never dropped one. Last week, 3 times he lost the handle. Today, he's been perfect. 3 catches for 46 yards and a touchdown.
And you see him looking that ball in, catching it with his hand.
At the 13 of Tampa Bay, 1st and 10. McGee straight up the middle. to the 10-yard line.
Well, Buford's a pretty smart fullback. You know, he hangs around with his offensive linemen and lifting weights with them and all those kinds of develop that relationship. Make sure they know your number and make sure they take care of you when you get on the football field.
He goes out after picking up 3. 2nd down and 7. Robert Del Pino will take McGee's spot in the Rams backfield along with Kurt Warner. Carter, the tight end, in motion. Everett to Del Pino. Touchdown. Everett's thrown for 3 today. That one to Robert Del Pino.
Rams use Del Pino a lot on motion, so Tampa Bay defensively is looking at that saying that's no big deal. John Robinson will tell you anytime you ask him about Del Pino is he has the ability to come out of that backfield and make the reception. Watch him coming out of the chute right here, running a little chute route, comes over there. No one's really covering him closely. As a result, when he catches that football, he makes the dive in the end zone. The linebacker inside has to cover him on the motion.
Del Pino caught 1 pass for 10 yards last week. This was good for 10 yards and a touchdown, and Lansford adds the point after. 5 minutes, 32 seconds to go in the half, and the Buccaneers in a deep hole, trailing by 3 touchdowns. Jim Everett, who's been almost perfect today, 3 touchdown passes. And there's the numbers, 149 yards. He might be on Sports Illustrated next week, but when you live on the West Coast, you make GQ. You've really made it.
I wonder if he got to keep the coat, though. That's something we forgot to ask him.
$1,100 worth of coat. I hope he did. Great article on Everett in there. Here's a kick by English. Taken by Harvey, the up man, and he gets pretty good yardage out to the 40-yard line before he's run out of bounds.
Right, that kick was so bad by English, I think they'll have to create another name for it.
Ray Perkins, who had hoped his Bucks for the first time in 10 years could start out of the blocks 2-0, and they've got some coming back to do today.
They've been ineffective in the rushing game. I think they have 14 yards so far in the first half.
There's a Rams scoring drive, another impressive one. And now the Buccaneers have 5:24 with which to work to try to put up something before halftime. Rams have dominated in total yardage, 189-66. Testaverde, first down, Tampa Bay in Ram territory at the 47-yard line. DeMarc Carrier. We're at Tampa Stadium. Buccaneer fans have packed in this place looking for Tampa Bay's 2nd win of the year, but they're on the short end, 21-0 to the Los Angeles Rams with 5 minutes to go in the first half. With Dan Jiggetts, I'm Brad Nessler. We welcome you to our 2nd week of NFL football here on CBS. Jim Everett, 149 yards on an 11-for-14 day and 3 touchdown passes. Testaverde and the Bucks at the Ram 48, first down. Comes the blitz. Hill broke the tackle, touchdown. That's how you get back in the football game.
A lot of people were wondering whether or not Vinny Testaverde had what it takes to come back in a ball game when you're down 21-zip. Well, I think you'll see that he indeed does.
Bruce Hill, who had for him an off season last year, despite the fact that he caught 50 passes. But the previous year, he went over 1,000 yards in receiving. And Christie's extra point is good. 21-7, Los Angeles. Vinny Testaverde couldn't have put this one on the money any better, Dan.
Look at the concentration on Bruce Hill. He'll be coming out to the left-hand side of your screen. Now, Testaverde puts it on the dime, but the key was that Bruce Hill never stopped in his stride, continued to run for the football, and kept his eye on the ball, even when the defensive back came in between him.
How did Vinny feel? His 4th scoring toss of the year.
Bruce Hill A lot of people have forgotten about him. He's been kind of playing in the shadow of Mark Carrier.
21-7 here. The Rams lead. We got more football today on CBS. The second game of our doubleheader. Many of you will see the Redskins in Candlestick against the 49ers. Others will see the Giants at Dallas or the Saints and the Vikings. You can check the local listings for the game and time in your area. Our second game here in week 2 of the NFL on CBS. Now the Buccaneer fans back into it. Over the years, they have not had a lot to cheer about at times. They're hoping this year will be different. Del Pino 2 yards deep to the 22. Swarmed under there. Let's check some scores of other games going on. The 140th meeting between the Bears and the Packers. Detroit by a touchdown over Atlanta in the battle of run and shoots. Look at the Jets on Cleveland. Miami.
Buffalo. Ooh. Kind of a shocker.
Their AFC East game, and Philadelphia by 2 scores over Phoenix.
You know, it's interesting that Bears score. The Bears are leading Green Bay. I wonder, does that mean that Lindy Infante now has to go back and take the Magic Man off the bench and replace Anthony Delaware?
We'll keep an eye on that. At the 21-yard line, Rams first down. Play action. Everett deep middle, almost intercepted by Harry Hamilton. If the Bucs defense can do their job here, Dan, that would give Vinny and the Bucs a little more time to try to score more.
Starts to change the complexion of the ball game altogether. You ever felt like when you made a long-distance call and you just didn't hook up right? Well, that's kind of what happened to Henry Ellard and Jim Everett. Everett puts the ball up high. Henry says, hey, I can't get up that high. Just lets it go.
I guess Jim Everett dropped the receiver, is what you're saying. Second and 10. Gaston Green. Reuben Davis ran him down from behind.
Buccaneer defense rising to the occasion. I want to give their offense some good field position here. Now watch them flow to the football. The one thing this 34 defense of the Rams does so well, Davis there. See, that's why you still have to stay on him on the backside. That time, Jackie Slater just gave him a little nip there and then took off the field. You got to stay with those backside blocks.
The biggest third down of the day for the Buccaneer defense of Ray Perkins. 3rd and 10. Everett. Long ball to Anderson. He made the catch at the 48-yard line of Tampa Bay. They won't take that one away.
Well, he talked a little trash that time, too, and it's well-deserved to be able to talk a little bit. Harry Hamilton came over and tried to take his head off on the play. Now, watch Hamilton, 39, close, and then right there, he grabs Flipper Anderson. That's concentration to hold on to that football. Now, there he's going to talk a little bit, flip the ball down there. They said, here, you want it? Here, take it. Once again, watch Hamilton close on the football. Good coverage on the play underneath. Hamilton gets there second late and delivers a heck of a shot.
First down Rams at the Tampa 49. Gaston Green. Green to the 37. Picked up 12 in a hurry. He's got tremendous speed.
Oh, boy, but did you see the block Tom Newberry threw on the line of scrimmage? That's what gives offensive linemen chills. Watch 66 Newberry coming over to that right side. Watch this block right here at the point of attack. See him leveling that shoulder. Now he's going to try to level a defensive man. He does it too. That's Eugene Marv. He knocks on his back.
And Green cut it back beautifully. And with just over 2 minutes to go in the half, the Rams up 21-7, threatening again. Jim Everett in the flat to Green. Green took a double shot at the 30. Ricky Reynolds and Eugene Marv. And we worked our way down to the 2-minute warning. Just when the Buccaneers got back in it, the Rams driving again and leading by 14. Bruce Hill's touchdown reception a couple of minutes ago as Tampa Bay back to within 14, but the Rams of the 2-minute warning have worked it down to the 30-yard line of Tampa Bay. Coming up at halftime, the NFL Today. Greg Gumbel and Terry Bradshaw with scores and highlights of other games, and then Pat Summerall and John Madden with a preview of the Redskins and the 49ers, all coming up at halftime on the NFL Today here on CBS. Jim Everett is 13 of 17, 187 yards. He has hooked up with 8 different receivers already in this ball game. Green has a first down near the 25-yard line. Urban Randall ran him down there.
Talk so much about the backside pursuit of the Tampa Bay defense, and this time Winston Moss. Now watch him. He's going to be from right out in here.
We have a timeout.
He's going all the way outside. Okay, roll it, guys. Now watch him come down. 51. Watch him pursuing the play from the backside and end up catching Gaston Green all the way over to the other side of the line of scrimmage.
And we've got an injured Buccaneer. Winston Moss. That's Broderick Thomas. Broderick Thomas, the outside linebacker. #1 draft choice a year ago out of Nebraska. He seemed to be working inside his face mask. Maybe he took a shot in the eye or the nose. 1:43 to go in the half. 3 touchdown passes today for Jim Everett. And Vinny Testaverde has the other scores. He hooked up with Bruce Hill. And it looks like Broderick Thomas is all right.
I'm sorry, he was the one that made the stop coming from that backside outside.
Well, it is almost halftime now. What effect do you think, Dan, that the weather has taken on the players so far?
The Rams appear to be in pretty good condition, you know, and a lot of that has to do with the fluids that they took. And we talked in the pregame show about them using Pedialyte, which is for infants, and what it does is it replaces body fluids, and apparently it's helped them a great deal. One thing that John Robinson was worried about was the long flight here. He said you dehydrate while you're on the plane, so they've been taking those juices and fluids all week long to prepare for the heat and humidity.
Oh, you got your bottle over there. Why don't you pour? First and 10 Rams. Everett looks right, goes back left. Damone Johnson underneath to the 21-yard line to his tight end who just came into camp Wednesday. Kevin Murphy made the tackle, and he's down. Murphy down, holding his right knee, it appears.
Looked like he slipped when he went in to make the stop over there.
Oh. Tampa Bay deep in linebackers, but you don't want to go through them like this.
Tampa Bay, their second charge team timeout.
Damone Johnson brings a blocking tight end back to this team now. That's what he really is. And he also catches the football very well. And John Robinson told us, he said, well, the bad news is he was out of camp. The good news is when he comes back, at least he's healthy. With all the injuries we've got, we're happy to have a healthy player coming back into camp.
The one good thing that he missed all of camp. He didn't have a chance to get injured. That's what John was talking about with us. And they're helping Kevin Murphy off. And again, it appears to be favoring his right knee when he went down. And we'll try to get a report on his condition, but the 5th-year linebacker out of Oklahoma may be done for the day. And we might see more of Keith McCants for that very reason. I don't know if they'd switch sides and put McCants out there to cover up for Murphy's absence, but I think he just checked into the lineup. The #1 draft choice out of Alabama. 58 yards so far for the Rams drive. They've had some very impressive marches down against this Tampa Bay defense today. 2nd and 5. Everett, plenty of time to Ellard, and good position by Ricky Reynolds. Kept himself between the receiver and the football. Incomplete.
Irving Randall came in on the blitz that time and put a little pressure on Everett. Ricky Reynolds outside, coming back off a holdout situation, trying to keep up with Henriella. Good little push there. See, that's one of the things as a defensive back. You want to get that push, so it gives you an opportunity to catch up with the receiver. Really covered him like a blanket the rest of the way.
Ricky Reynolds, a 3-year starter.
A couple of Phi Beta Kappas.
3rd and 5. Holohan in motion. Delayed give to Cleveland Gary, and the Bucs will stop him. Nice job defensively by Kirk Jarvis, the nose tackle.
Now, the counter tray, what you want to do is, as a nose tackle, is you want to escape the down block, the double team. And right there, Jarvis came off the double team with Newberry and Smith and got right into the play. That's unusual to be able to beat a double team to the side of the play.
There's Jarvis.
Yeah, he looks like a nose tackle. How come nose tackles, helmets never fit right? You ever notice that? They always sit way up on their forehead. I've never seen a nose tackle yet that has a normal helmet.
Maybe they couldn't find one to fit.
I think he's got this tape on his hands and on the fingertips. That's so when he grabs those jerseys and tries to sling you to the ground, he doesn't damage his manicure.
Everett's going to talk it over on the sideline with the Rams coaching staff as they let the clock wind down to 22 seconds.
Their second charge team timeout. 42nd timeout.
And they'll bring in Mike Lansford and the kicking unit during the course of this timeout. They didn't want to give Tampa Bay any more time to take over offensively. They should have between 15 and 18 seconds maybe to work with after Mike Lansford attempts this field goal.
Talked about manicures. This is a guy that probably is always concerned about his pedicure.
Pedicure, right.
Mike Lansford, barefoot kicker. That guy's smart, though. He went to Southern California to kick. He comes to Florida where it's warm as well.
His numbers last year under 40 yards, only one misfire. And they'll spot this one down near the 26-yard line. It'll be a 36-yard field goal attempt. Pete Holohan to hold.
Keep in mind, Lansford was injured earlier in the ball game. Don't know how that's going to affect it.
He missed earlier from 49. Lansford's kick is blocked. He's 0 for 2. Winston Moss may be the man that got a hand on that for Tampa Bay.
Coming from outside, Winston Moss, number 58, gets through hard on the corner. Now, that guy outside right there has to do a double dip there. He has to hit inside and outside. And what happened that time is Mike Wiltshire did not get a hand on Winston Moss coming up through that groove. You got to try to pop inside, then go outside, because the outside guy is the last one to get to the kick.
We may not know till after the game, but if you'd ask Lansford, he may be saying that favoring that Achilles is making his motion a little bit slower today, and a split second can mean the difference between a good field goal and one that's blocked, as that one was. The Bucs will keep it on the ground. Out to the 35-yard line goes Reggie Cobb. See if Tampa Bay wants to stop the clock and try one long ball here, or maybe two.
Timeout, Tampa Bay.
They've got an opportunity.
Final charge team timeout.
They've got an opportunity to go long, and they've certainly got the receivers with the ability, but the Rams are playing very soft and making sure that they keep their backs to the goal line. But one of the things that you may see is them trying to throw it a little bit shorter and then let somebody make a move and try to get into the end zone.
8 seconds left in the half here, and coming up at halftime, Greg Gumbel and Terry Bradshaw with the scores and highlights of other games around the NFL. On the NFL Today at halftime, our second week is all. The Rams of John Robinson 0-1, Tampa Bay 1-0. Dan, so far, any surprises by what you've seen? We were out in Los Angeles. They seem to have a great week of practice.
I think that's the thing that John Robinson was saying to us. You know, he felt that Wednesday they had a great practice, and he said today the rest of the week they had good practices. So they're settling back down to the Los Angeles Rams as everyone knows them. Despite the fact they lost 36-24 to Green Bay last week, they feel that they are a very solid team when healthy. Testaverde going to throw the quick pass, and it's picked off. Bobby Humphrey, touchdown. And oh, did that one backfire. 43 yards and a touchdown. An old New York Jet broke on the ball like a Jet, too. He just kind of hung in the weeds on Testaverde. You get a little casual sometimes when you know that the defense is in that prevent and they're playing soft. Bobby Humphrey just settled down in there, tried to hide himself a little bit. Watch him at the top of your screen. He's just about at the 50-yard line. Now he breaks on the ball right here. Excellent break, excellent timing, and watch him take off. No wonder he played for the Jets. I think he's got some turbo. Whoa. And did that hush the crowd. And the Bucs, who looked like they could do no worse than a 21-7 deficit at halftime, are staring at 28-7 if Lansford hits this extra point. Lansford tacks on his fourth extra point. Vinny Testaverde, after throwing that interception, headed directly to the locker room, where at halftime the Rams have the big edge by 3 scores. This crowd here is brutally hurt and booing the Buccaneers now. some things you can't help, and that was a tough play for the Buccaneers offense. But a great play, I think, by Bobby Humphrey. Watch over on the left side of your screen. Breaks on the football, goes up in the air to make the reception, and just takes off. No one is really there in position to stop it.
44 yards later, it's 28-7. And now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers definitely with a regrouping session at halftime. At halftime, our score, the Rams 28, the Bucs 7 here in Tampa.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by the new generation of Oldsmobile. Step into the future now at your Oldsmobile dealer. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars. And by Federal Express, the best way to ship it over there. CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Subaru. We built our reputation by building a better car. First Brands Corporation, makers of STP oil treatment. And by Michelob Dry Beer. Once you experience the bold taste with no aftertaste, there's no going back.
Halftime at Tampa Stadium with the Rams in control, 28-7. Brad Nessler and Dan Jiggetts along with you, and welcome back to Tampa. And Dan, I don't think the Rams were rattled at all by what happened last week with all the miscues against Green Bay. They look like a different team.
They really settled down, Brad, this week. And a couple of things happened. First of all, they got their offense working on rhythm. Jim Everett is having a fine day. And defensively, they've done what they wanted to do. They've controlled Gary Anderson to this point. We talked about Jim Everett hooking up with his wide receivers. Here he goes to Henry Ellens. We told you about last week, Henry Ellens dropped a couple of balls. Well, today he's been holding on to them, and he's been in the end zone when he's done it.
Statistically at halftime, as you might guess, the Rams with the edge. Testaverde does have 121 yards passing, but look at that time of possession difference.
And that's because they're not running the football successfully.
Jim Everett has been brilliant today. Last week he had 3 touchdown passes, but he was intercepted twice. Today, it's been a different story. He's been in command. They call him General Blade. 14 out of 19, 3 scoring tosses.
A very good practical joker, by the way.
He certainly is. Ray Perkins on the sideline. What has he told his troops in the locker room to try to get them back in this thing?
I'm sure one of the things emotionally, you want to make sure that your guys are up. They don't get down and hang their heads when they come back out. But the other thing is you got to do you got to get the ball going on the run game.
Steve Christie will get our third quarter underway. And he knocks this one 6 yards deep, and Lattenberry won't bring it out. One of the reasons that Steve Christie was kept over Donald Igwebuike was for his deep kickoffs. And last week, 5 of his 7 kicks were in the end zone. 4 of them caused touchbacks, as that one just did.
Well, go back to something that happened early in the game. He missed a field goal attempt from 32 yards out. Donald Igwebuike, who is now kicking in Minnesota, never missed from inside the 35.
Jim Everett in his 5th year out of Purdue. There's a look at Steve Christie, the rookie place kicker of the Buccaneers. Rams work from their own 20. Kurt Warner, maybe 3 yards. Eugene Marv and Reuben Davis are there to meet him.
You know, it's interesting, our conversation with Irv Pankey of the Rams and talking about the relationship that the offensive linemen have on this team. It's been a great line for a number of years. They've provided opportunity for a lot of running backs to gain some yardage. He said one of the things about that offensive line is you can sit there and look in the eyes of the other guys and know what they're thinking. That's how close that group is.
Says they pick each other up when times get hard. Sometimes it just takes a look in the huddle as if to say, come on, let's get it going. They've had it going today. 2nd and 7. Warner again. Close to a first down, maybe a half yard short. He took quite a shot at the end of that play from Irvin Randall and Wayne Haddix.
Getting a little war tape on over there. You got to get out there and hit somebody. You want to get ready. You want to have everything taped up, all put together. That's Frank Stamp. Keep thing on this play. Now watch Buford McGee, 24 right there. Throw that block almost in the middle of your screen. That's such a valuable thing to have as a fullback that understands how to take those linebackers off their feet.
Robert Cox comes in as an extra blocker. He's on the right side and is an eligible receiver. We expect to see a run on 3rd down and less than a yard, and here comes Warner. to the 33. First down, Rams.
Shows you how much faith they have in the running game to go wide on a toss play, 3rd and short. You'd think normally you want to hit it right up in close, somewhere near the center, but that time the Rams decided to go out wide with the 1.
The Rams for years and years have always had a 1,000-yard rusher, and that's their forte. Just try to go straight at the defense and then set it up and then use the pass, and it worked brilliantly in the first half. First down. 13 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. Rams 28, Buccaneers 7. Everett completes it. Another first down, and it's Henry Ellard again to the 49-yard line. Pickup of 16.
And Henry Ellard is limping back to the huddle. Let's hope he didn't hurt that hamstring once again that had been plaguing him all the way through training camp, and was one of the reasons why he was not as successful as he'd like to be last week.
With that completion, Jim Everett has moved into the number 3 spot in career passing for the Los Angeles Rams, with Roman Gabriel and the Dutchman Norm Van Brocklin the only ones in front. He just passed Bob Waterfield with that completion.
Keep in mind, a lot of those guys played when they only had 10, 12 games a season and no face mask.
He may never match the 554 yards Norm Van Brocklin had in a single game, but he maybe is the guy to do it. What a right arm on Jim Everett. Gaston Green popped through for about 7 to the 43. Eugene Marv finally ran him down, and Gaston Green looking more like he did in the preseason when he led the Rams in preseason rushing.
Yeah, one of the reasons why, though, is because if you get good blocking up in the middle of that offensive line, we talked about Tom Newberry. Watch him right over there on that on the left side of the offensive line. Okay, you can roll it, guys. Now watch Newberry's block right there. Number 1, he gets up on that nose guy, and watch him finish his block when he takes off on it. Right there, you see him take that nose tackle down to the ground. That's how come Gaston Green is successful.
2nd down and 3 as Green got 7. Holohan in motion. Kurt Warner, left side. Cuts back to the middle and didn't get the first down. Good job by Irvin Randall. Randall had the great game last week against Detroit, 2.5 sacks, and that matched his career total, if you can believe that.
Yeah, well, you know, he had about 2.5 sacks, I think, his whole career. And the supermarket down here before the season started made a little deal with him. They donated $1,000 to charity anytime he got a sack. Well, I don't think they were ready for him to get 3 in one game or 2.5. I say 3 because you can't get a half a sack. You either get it or you don't. It's like getting half a loaf.
3rd down and short. Everett wants it all to Del Pino again, and he made the catch. Touchdown. "42 yards. Del Pino's 2nd touchdown reception of the day, and that's 4 for Jim Everett, and John Robinson's got to be feeling better.
Mark Robinson and Ricky Reynolds on the coverage, and I think the only thing they caught up with was Del Pino's towel. Now watch his towel fly out of here. They get the towel, but they don't get Del Pino. As a matter of fact, the towel's still down there on the ground. Del Pino's already on the sideline with the 6 points.
Towel may be dirty, but Del Pino got away nice and clean. And it is 34-7. Lansford, point after. He's been a busy kicker. 10:41 to go, 3rd quarter. Jim Everett's thrown for 4. It's 35-7 Rams. The Rams out big on Tampa Bay, 35-7 with 10:41 to go in the 3rd quarter. Brad Nessler and Dan Jiggetts with you at Tampa Stadium. Robert Del Pino there in the back of the picture, and there's what's left of him on the field.
That dirty laundry. I had to leave it to the side judge. That's Dean Look who picked it up and threw it out off to the side.
The 2nd 80-yard march for the Rams today, capped by Jim Everett's 4th touchdown pass. Everett is 16 of 21 for 249 yards, and it's not quite as hot when you're leading 35-7. Lansford will kick it off this time. Keith English, the punter, had been doing much of the kickoff duty due to Lansford straining an Achilles tendon early in the game, but he's out there now. Reggie Cobb, the deep man, kind of a line drive squib, fielded by Cobb at the 11. He's got a seam to the 37-yard line. First down for the Bucs offense there. Tampa Stadium with a big crowd, but they aren't too happy with what they've seen so far. Next Saturday on CBS Sports, our college football continues. Ty Detmer and the Cougars of BYU against Dan McGuire and San Diego State's Aztecs. Or you'll see the Crimson Tide trying to get their first win for Gene Stallings against the Bulldogs of Georgia. That's next Saturday, 3 o'clock Eastern. Check your local listings for the game and time in your area here on CBS. First down, Buccaneers. Testaverde short. That one almost picked off. Fred Strickland went right by him, intended for Reggie Cobb.
Reggie Cobb just broke his concentration that time, and Vinny Testaverde is very frustrated with that situation because you don't get that many opportunities. Just dump it off in there real easy and let your running back make a move and try to break it.
You got to wonder what effect that final touchdown had not only on the Buccaneer team but on Vinny Testaverde. The final play of the second quarter, Bobby Humphrey took an interception 44 yards for the Rams' 4th touchdown. The blitz coming. Testaverde throws behind Reggie Cobb, his intended receiver. And now the Boo Birds are out.
That's the Pedialyte I told you about earlier, and the Rams are still taking those fluids in, being smart about this thing, because not only do you have to survive this game, but you also have to get on that plane and ride back 5 hours on the plane, and the last thing you want is a cramp on the plane.
I don't know what's in that stuff, Dan, but they're up by 28 points. They better keep drinking it.
They might be drinking it right into December.
3rd down and 10 for Vinny Testaverde. He'll work from the spread. 3 wideouts. From the shotgun. Over the middle. Anderson can't handle it. Incomplete. And the Bucs will have to give it up. 3 and out.
Brad, what the Rams like to do sometimes on occasion is bring a lot of linebackers down on the line of scrimmage. They call it their eagle defense, and one of the things they do is watch Wilcher right here. See, he was down right over the nose, and then he got out of there and got back into coverage. But what they try to do is give you a little bit of a different look on defense, make you think that they're coming with that eagle with all those linebackers on the line of scrimmage, and then jump out of there.
Royals to punt. High kick. Mickey Sutton will field at the 24. Got around the first man. Got the corner to the 33-yard line. An 8-yard return after a 38-yard kick. Just over 10 minutes to go 3rd quarter. The Rams leading the Bucs 35-7. Jackie Slater, a happy tackle, no doubt. The Rams 35-7 here in the 3rd quarter. Other games going on around the league today. Green Bay and Chicago, the Bears by a touchdown in the 3rd. Detroit 2 up on the Falcons, and the Jets trying to win one for their new head coach. Miami still shutting out Buffalo. Gaston Green will counterplay across the 35 to the 36-yard line.
And Gaston will learn to avoid the tackle's feet when he comes around in that counter tray. Let those big men get out there and lay it out for you, and then you make your break up the field. That time he tripped over Herb Pankey's feet. One of the few times he's tripped today.
That's right. Saw that Phoenix and Philadelphia scores change, now tied at 14. Joe Bugle looking for a win. Mike Lansford hasn't had to worry about any long field goals per se. The Rams have done it on Jim Everett's arm, and a long interception return for a score. 2nd and 7, LA. Green out across the 40. Harry Hamilton came up to make sure he didn't get the first down. He's going to be about 2 yards short.
Talk a little philosophy here, Brad. Now, if you're the Rams, you want to keep the ball on the ground, grind up as much of the clock as you can. What the Buccaneers have to hope for is that they can get the ball back and force the Rams into punting situations. That is Urban Randall, who's down on the turf, and it looks like he's a problem with his hand. Looks like he's grabbing his fingers.
Looks like he's checking them all. Urban Randall, who has really had a good 2 weeks. He's been around the football today in his 6th year out of Baylor. And his brother John is a rookie with the Minnesota Vikings in much the same build, and the Vikings have used him as a pass rusher.
mentioned to our people that he prefers to be called Irv instead of Irving.
I'll tell him, I'll call him whatever he wants us to call him.
So you name it.
The Buccaneers have 3 NFC Central matchups in the next month. The Lions next, and the Lions right now winning today to try to go to 1-1. Then the Vikings. Dallas off to a 1-0 start, and Green Bay on the 14th of October.
Ray Perkins told us last week in order to do well and try to get to the playoffs, he felt that you have to control your own division. Well, he's going to have it even tougher if the Buccaneers drop this ball game.
3rd down 2. Everett to throw for it. And almost intercepted by Hamilton on the far side as Everett got that too far in front of Delpino. One of his first errant throws of the day, really. And the Rams, for the first time today, will have to punt. I'd forgotten the Rams had a punter. Keith English, who has done some of the chores on kickoff duties, but this will be the first time he'll kick it away to Willie Drury. Drury stands inside his own 20. Bucks have 10 men up. And the Rams trying to adjust on their offensive front. Everybody up close for Tampa Bay. They're going to come after the punter, English. He just got it away. It'll be returnable for Drury at the 30. Does a spin move and got close to the 33. A 32-yard kick and a 3-yard return. And with 8 minutes, 37 seconds to go third quarter, the Rams by 28. 35-7 Rams. Jim Everett, who's hit 4 home runs today, 4 touchdown passes, and Danny's had a good job with that rotisserie baseball league.
Yeah, he told us he's about 350 points ahead already, and he's so far ahead he traded Kelly Gruber, you know, a couple of good hitters. It's a hitting rotisserie league. He just gave him up. He says he's so far ahead nobody's going to catch him.
Let's see if the Bucks can somehow catch up. Not that way. Cobb is hit by Fred Strickland for a very short gain. Baseball scores today. Pittsburgh up by a half entering the day over the Mets with a 1-0 lead on the Expos in the 5th. There the Mets trailing Philadelphia, trying to stay in the hunt. The Dodgers have closed in on Cincinnati, and that's become a race now. Vinny Testaverde's had a tough day. Has a 2nd and 9 here. Completes it to Reggie Cobb over the middle. Cobb got it out to the 40-yard line where it'll bring up 3rd down and 3.
So often you hear take what the defense gives you, and what the Rams defense is going to give you with those linebackers. They're going to sit back a little zone now, allow you to catch the underneath stuff, and the one thing they're going to try to prevent you from doing is going deep on them. Strickland is another guy who had problems with injuries last season. Fred Strickland, number 53 there in the middle of your screen.
3rd down and 3, Tampa Bay. 2 tight ends set. Testaverde, pressure from the backside, got leveled as he threw it, and broken up on the far side by Mickey Sutton. I think it was Kevin Green that delivered the blow on Vinny Testaverde again, and again he's holding the ribs.
Kevin Green may be in the Armed Force Reserves, but he didn't have any reservations about coming in on that blind side and hitting Vinny Testaverde. Boy, he knocked him out on that one. And what a play by Mickey Sutton downfield to knock it down.
Despite all that pressure and the fact that Vinny took the hit, the ball was well thrown, but Sutton played it beautifully. And here he is in punt return formation. Mark Royals to kick. Good punt. Sutton to 15. Got about 6 on the return. And we've worked our way to the 7-minute mark remaining here in the third quarter, and it's all Los Angeles, 35-7. Normally the Rams ground game does a lot of the work.
8 seasons they've had 1,000-yard rushers behind them, and he talked about how close they were as a group. Talking to Irv Pankey, he said one of the things, though, over in the sideline and in the huddle, you tell a guy next to you, hey man, don't be taking up my air. You want to make sure that the air flows through the huddle. And the new trio of running backs utilized by Jim Everett and the Rams consists of Kurt Warner, Cleveland Gary, and Gaston Green. And it's Gary right now, the tailback in the eye. Here he comes. Drags would-be tacklers for 9 yards.
I think if they really hang the hat on one guy in years to come, it'll be number 43, Dan.
Yeah, and the line says that the reason why they like blocking for him, because when he runs, he just flows. And when they tell you that, that means that the guy sees the open hole and he gets to it in a hurry. You saw him right there make that little hesitation move, dip in, dip out, and he's just gone.
Came up about a half-yard short of the first down. Clock runs under the 6.5-minute mark, third quarter. 35-7 Los Angeles. Gary gets it again, and he's got the first down. Ball loose. I think they're going to blow it dead. Mark Robinson on top of the football, but they're going to say that that one was whistled dead before the ball came loose.
We talked earlier about Jim Everett and the kind of practical joker he is. He said one of the things they do to the rookies is they call it bobbing. They tape them up like mummies, and then they put them in the cold jacuzzi.
Just one of the many things that Everett pulls in the locker room for the Rams. Chris Chandler is warming up on the Buccaneers sideline. Acquired for a #1 draft choice. Former starter with the Indianapolis Colts, and we might see him before the day's over. First down Rams. Kurt Warner lost the ball. Let's see. I think Doug Smith, the center, got on top of it. The old veteran came up with the football. The Rams had a bit of a scare there.
Talked about nose tackles, helmets not fit. Doug Smith, center, his helmet doesn't fit either. Watch here now. Watch him turn around alertly and pick that ball up. Sometimes you just have a feeling for something going wrong when you're inside there, and he looks up, sees that ball in midair, and just gets on it. Lands underneath him, and that was the bad news for the ball. He almost flattened it.
In the right spot at the right time.
Yeah, you're not pulling it out of those arms.
Second down at 10. Rams with their own 33-yard line. Kurt Warner straight up the middle. Close to the 40. Headaches. Let's go to New York right now and an update with Greg Gumbel. Greg.
Well, Brad, at Detroit, Atlanta trying to mount a comeback. Steve Broussard caps a 63-yard drive with a 2-yard run around the left side. And in the third quarter, Detroit's lead is down now to 21-14. Let's go back to Brad and Dan in Tampa.
All right, Greg, thank you. The Rams here, 35-7. Just over 4 minutes to go, third quarter. They've moved it out to a third down and 4. Everett with 4 touchdown passes already today. In a little trouble here. Down he goes. Broderick Thomas with the sack. And that's what they wanted from him when they drafted him #1 a year ago.
Broderick Thomas came inside on the blitz originally, trying to come up the gut of the defense. Then he pulled back out, circled around, and got Everett when he tried to make the scramble. Everett looking downfield. No one was open. That's a coverage sack, really.
And again, 10 men up on the line for the Buccaneers as they're going to try to pressure Keith English, the punter. Willie Drury is the deep man. Here comes the Buccaneer rush. They got close again. And it'll blow it dead at the 37-yard line. With 3:32 to go, third quarter, it's all Rams. Brad Nessler and Dan Jiggetts back at Tampa Stadium. Vinny Testaverde came into this one as the top-ranked quarterback in the league. He sits down 9 of 18 for only 127 yards, a touchdown and an interception, and he's been replaced by Chris Chandler, who was acquired in the preseason from the Indianapolis Colts for a #1 draft choice in '92. Let's see what he can do with this club. Trailing 35-7. There's only so much you can do, maybe. Ray Perkins felt it was time for the switch. Flags down. It appeared as though the Rams jumped. Chandler will take a free play to haul the tight end to the 28-yard line, 35 yards. If indeed the Rams are the ones that jumped off sides, they'll refuse the penalty and take the play.
Offsides, 96 defense. Penalty is declined. First down.
Maybe one of the things Chandler used was a nice hard snap count He's a new quarterback in the game. You're not used to his rhythm as a defense, so you jump off.
And Ron Hall's been the big receiver for the Buccaneers today. And Chandler, as they always say, the backup quarterback's the most popular guy in town, and what a way he started. And Vinny Testaverde can only look on and hope that his backup can somehow pull the Bucs back into this thing. Just over 3 minutes to play third quarter. Deepest penetration for Tampa Bay in a long time. Gary Anderson on the sweep. Cuts inside and inside the 20 near the 19-yard line. And now for an NFL Today update. Let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
Now, Brad, third quarter at Green Bay. Watch Jim Harbaugh do a little long-distance dialing. Ron Morris down the sidelines, 40 yards in the touchdown, and the Bears have stretched their lead over Green Bay to 24-10. Third quarter. Brad and Dan, back to you in Tampa.
So a big game going on in the NFC Central. An NFC Central team here, Tampa Bay, trailing the Rams 35-7 with 2:25 to go in the clock running third quarter. And Chris Chandler in relief of Vinny Testaverde. Second down, a long yard to go. Draw play. Cobb to about the 16-yard line. That's good enough for the first down. Alvin Wright, the nose tackle, made the stop.
Irv Pankey told us he's one of the strongest men on their team. You need a strong guy at nose tackle. You got to be a little short, too, you know. You want to have a guy that's like a fire plug, somebody that can't be moved easily.
The Rams' #1 pick, Vern Brostick, the rookie out of Washington, an offensive lineman. We were talking about him. And Irv Pankey said Alvin Wright's the strongest guy in the team, and he says Bostic is a pretty strong fella.
He said he's a man.
There's two plugs right in the middle of the offensive and defensive line for the Rams. Chandler out in the flat to Anderson, heading for the corner, and he got close. They're going to say he went out at the 8.
Bucs are doing things a little bit differently on this drive too, Brad. They're spreading the ball around, getting it outside to Anderson instead of trying to hit it up in underneath. Here Chandler very calmly looks out there, finds Anderson. Anderson working one-on-one against a linebacker. You'd love to see that kind of matchup if you're on the offense of the Buccaneers.
There's
That's one
Gary
he'll win.
Anderson back after a year off from the NFL last year in a contract squabble with San Diego. Sat out the entire year and came to the Bucs in a spring trade. And here he comes again. Got the corner. Airborne. Not quite. But I tell you what, he's a guy that can get up in the air when he heads for that corner, as we have seen him do so many times before.
You remember that game 5 years ago when he was playing for San Diego? He did the same kind of thing. Took off from the 5-yard line. It's on everybody's highlight film and just went into the end zone. And boy, did he stick that landing.
He was with the Chargers then against the Miami Dolphins back in '86. And here's our buddy Dan Fouts. Flips it out to Anderson. Bud Brown trying to make the tackle. Sorry, Bud. Touchdown.
Oh, he stuck that landing, Brad.
Sure did. He's got pretty good style points, too. First and goal, Bucs. And Chandler is going to call a timeout.
Timeout. Tampa Bay. Their first charge team timeout. A 40-second timeout.
So Chris Chandler will talk things over with the Tampa Bay Brain Trust on the sideline. They didn't want to mess up an opportunity to put it in the end zone.
And that is the family of Gary Anderson. He had to buy 55 tickets for all the family down here, family and friends. His little son Gary Jr. is down there. And I understand Gary Jr. has a ponytail just like his dad. He's commenting to Gary last week. I said, boy, that thing's getting pretty long. Aren't you afraid somebody's going to grab it? He said, no, but then the next time I saw him, he had it taped up in the ball game.
That's little Gary, as a matter of fact. And Gary's wife, Ollie, right there with Gary Jr. and another child on the way. That'll be their third child, Gary Anderson, right there, who played collegiately at Arkansas, had so many great years with the Tampa Bay Bandits, and then a San Diego Charger up until this season.
Lives down here in the Tampa Bay area, and last year you thought he might get a call from the Bucs, but nothing really happened. No trade talks developed, but said he was very pleased with the developments when they did come along.
Gary Anderson splits out as a wideout to the right, two wide receivers to the left, and Reggie Cobb, the single setback, first and goal. Reggie Cobb drags the Rams near the goal line. I thought he was going to lose 2, and he made something out of nothing there, Dan.
Yeah, he ran right into the teeth of the defense because you saw the blitz come up. You saw the linebacker walk up to the line of scrimmage, and Cobb really does this one off a tremendous leg drive.
He actually picked up about the length of the football.
Watch Frank Stamps 50s right in there. You see him push off. That's impossible as an offensive line to get a guy when he's coming in that hard and right on the snap of the football. Cobb did an excellent job, though, of making sure that he got near the goal line.
The fans in the right end zone will get an opportunity to see if Tampa can score. At the end of 3, it's the Rams 35 and the Bucs 7. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. We're at Tampa Stadium. Brad Nessler and Dan Jiggetts as we are set to start the 4th quarter. And the Rams have dominated 35-7. Chris Chandler in relief of Vinny Testaverde, who had an inefficient day, and Chandler has driven the Bucs down. The 7th play of the drive, and it's 2nd and goal at the 1. Reggie Cobb didn't get there. Brent Farinez made the first contact. Rookie out of Tennessee's had a couple of cracks at it now.
Watch the drive of the defensive line of the Rams, stuffing that offensive line up there, and then the key play, Frank Stamps grabs Cobb by the leg, just rodeos him out, pulls him back from away from the end zone. Stamps coming around, the blocking there, just pulling them down and pulling them away. He still got a hold of that leg.
Cobb the single setback as Gary Anderson splits out as a flanker on the right side. 3rd and goal. Chandler to throw for it. Anderson, it hit him, he couldn't get it, and Cobb can't get the ricochet.
It hit him. I think it almost knocked him out. Boy, Chandler put some mustard on that one.
And
a little bit too much.
The Bucs obviously will go for it here, trailing by 28 points. Not much of a decision necessary for Ray Perkins, trailing by this much with 14 minutes, 13 seconds to go.
What I do is fake up in the middle and maybe come back outside. Send Cobb up over the top and then roll out. It seems to be where it might be an opening because it certainly isn't in the middle.
Carrier and Hill, the wideouts. Anderson, the tailback in the eye. It's 4th and goal. Gary Anderson. Touchdown. It took 4 shots, but Anderson got it in. Steve Christie in for the point after. Score comes with 14:09 to play. $35-14 Rams. There's Gary Anderson in the ponytail. And finally, the Bucs fans have had something to cheer about. They've waited a long time.
Bucs went to their lead series, and then what they did was they took Cobb and sent him up in there to block the linebacker, and just like Gary Cobb come in behind him. I wonder if that ponytail helps him get up in the air. See, he's got it down now. See, it's not sticking up away from his body because he doesn't want any. The drag coefficient would be wrong. Be all wrong on that.
Mrs. Anderson and Gary Jr. right there in the middle of your screen. Don't forget, baseball is back next week on CBS Sports. We get things going at 12 o'clock Eastern. The Cardinals and the Pirates. In the American League, the Red Sox and the Yankees. That's all next Saturday starting at high noon Eastern here on CBS Sports. Big crowd on hand at Tampa Stadium. They have come in here to hope that the Buccaneers, for the first time in 10 years, could go to 2-0 to start a season. The last time the Bucs were able to do that was against the Rams in 1980.
Chicago out in front of Green Bay now, and Detroit getting a little bit closer with Atlanta.
Cleveland's added a touchdown, and Miami still blanking the Bills at Joe Robbie Stadium.
Yeah, a lot of people picked the Bills to be a Super Bowl contender this year. Uh-oh.
Chandler, the big pass play on that last drive, the 35-yarder to his tight end, capped a 63-yard drive in 9 plays as Gary Anderson went in from a yard out. And now let's see if Steve Christie kicks away. I wouldn't think they would onside kick this. Well, Take it back. Ball loose. The Bucs have it.
I'm sure the Rams are arguing that the ball did not go 10 yards, but it looked like it curled around right at the 45-yard line.
I didn't quite get the line out of my mouth. Would they onside kick this early? The answer was yes.
There's an end zone look at it. Oh, yeah, it went past the line.
Dan, I don't know what you think, but I think that's a great onside in that they didn't swing everybody over to try to rush one side. They made it look like it was going to be a deep kickoff.
And then they get that French curl on it, too, you know, where it just kind of came around and came right back at you like a Frisbee.
So Chandler and the Buccaneers offense back in working order at their own 42-yard line. Chandler pump fakes, wants it all. Carrier just overshot him. He had a step on Sutton. And let's go to New York for an NFL update. Here's Greg Gumbel.
Well, Brad, at Veterans Stadium in Philadelphia, the Eagles have gone ahead of the Cardinals again. Randall Cunningham, 2 yards to Heath Sherman. It's 21-14 Eagles now in the fourth. Back to Brad in Tampa.
13:57 to go in this one. 35-14 Rams. Chris Chandler at the controls of the Buccaneer offense.
That Cardinal game was a little surprising. I'm sure the Eagles expected to get out big in front of them and cruise to a win today.
Phoenix making it difficult on them. 2nd and 10. Draw play, Reggie Cobb broke through the first wave and got out near the 47-yard line before Fred Strickland could make the stop.
Brad, one of the hardest things to learn when you're down is to have patience. And what the Buccaneers are probably finding out now is that if you just concentrate on getting the next score, keep your mind on that, keep focused on that, that things can work out pretty well for you, but you have to stay focused in on what your immediate objective is, and that is to try to get back on the board, not worry about if you're down by 14 and 21 points.
Right now, they've got to focus on their 3rd down conversion. They need 6. 4 wide receivers set for Chris Chandler from the shotgun. To the 36-yard line to Frank Pillow.
The one thing you want in the passing game is timing. Now, that's what happens in this situation. Frank Pello up the top of your screen, number 80. Watch him come off the break. When he comes off the break, that's when that football is delivered. And boy, is that timing perfect in there. Pello, good concentration as well.
The sun comes out for the first time since about a half an hour before kickoff. And the Buccaneer offense shining now here in the 4th quarter. Complete again. It's Carrier to the 20. And if the Bucs can cap off this drive, Dan, with a touchdown, we got a ball game.
Chris Chandler, nice play action fake there. You saw the little sleight of hand. He pulled back, keep that defense tucked in there, then let them realize you want to throw the ball. And by that time, you got somebody open downfield.
Carrier's 4th catch, that one good for 16.
The reason why all this is working, though, is because they've had some success with the running game here in the 2nd half.
They didn't abandon it totally. Kept enough of it to keep John Robinson's defense honest. Chandler's numbers. Sets up his tight end Anderson now on a wing right. Reggie Cobb got 6 or 7 before Paul Butcher could stop him. 11:29 in the clock running. Reggie Cobb a little bit shaken up on that one. One of 5 new running backs in the Tampa Bay backfield.
Yeah, most Tampa Bay fans would not even recognize the backfield right now. And you see the people that they got rid of. Lars Tate was a 2nd-round draft choice. William Howard came into camp overweight. Sylvester Stamps was really a special teamer. James Wilder, a longtime Buccaneer, is gone. And Don Smith, a person who they had a lot of hope for, came in as originally as a quarterback, switched to running back, is now gone.
2nd down and 3, Tampa Bay. Here comes a blitz. The right call, but he got it a little too far in front of Bruce Hill.
That's got to be the tough thing as a reserve quarterback when you come in. You try to throw that out, which is essentially a timing pattern, a very difficult pass to throw because the receiver is working away from you and to the sideline. So those are the kinds of things that Chris Chandler is probably going to take a little time to adjust to.
The biggest third down of the game for the Buccaneers. Third down, a long 3. You see the clock under 11 minutes, and the Rams leading 35-14. 2 tight end set. Chandler over the middle. Cobb's got a 1st and goal at the 5.
One of the things you want your running backs to do is have a little patience. Now watch Cobb here. He's going to circle around. He's going to let the linebackers go out in their coverage and then just come where they are. And it's very simple. You see him now circling around. The linebackers go out in their zones. He just slips in there, makes the reception.
1st and goal, Tampa Bay. They stay in their 2 tight end formation. Chris Chandler. Reggie Cobb, nice open field hit by Brett Fairnez on the outside. Fairnez, who's played very well, filling in for Mike Wilcher, who's been banged up a little bit.
One of the hardest things to do is to tackle in the open field, and particularly you've got an elusive running back. We watch Fairnez on the technique right here. Goes and takes the legs out.
Cobb still cartwheeled for about 2 yards. 2nd and goal at the 3. Clock has worked its way under the 10-minute mark here at Tampa Stadium, where the Buccaneers are trying to mount a comeback. Remember, this drive started with an onside kick. 4 minutes, 5 seconds later, they push the Rams to their own goal line. Bad snap, ball loose. Tampa Bay, one of the interior linemen, apparently on top of it. I think it's Randy Grimes, the center.
Bubba Grimes was out last week with a torn tricep muscle, and they really need him back in that offensive line. Watch the ball's dribbling down there now on the field, and Bubba Grimes just flattens it. He just gets right on top of it. Looks like he might have a little help from Cobb.
You think of the center quarterback exchange as just a natural occurrence, but it cost the Buccaneers a hold down there. Now it's 3rd down and goal, almost at the 4-yard line. Let's see if they go on top for it. Chandler overshot Bruce Hill. He was open. It'll be 4th and goal.
Bruce Hill tried to drive his man to the post and then reverse field and come back out to the corner. Because they saw Chandler scrambling around without anybody to throw the ball to. Very alert on the play.
Gary Anderson checks in. So is Willie Drury as an extra receiver, and Ray Perkins down to a 4th and goal call.
I would think you have to run some form of pick play down here. Try to get your man off and get him open very quickly, shallow in the end zone.
They'll work from the shotgun. Anderson and Harvey will flank Chandler in the spread. 3 wideouts on 4th and goal at the 4. Bad snap for the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Hill.
The reason why he wanted to go to Hill is because Hill was covered by a linebacker. Made a lot of sense. Just didn't get the ball in there, Brad.
And the Rams stay up 35-14. The Rams with the edge on the ground. They haven't needed a lot of rushing yards, though, thanks to Jim Everett's numbers there, Dad.
Jim Everett's just been sensational for the Rams. The interesting thing for the Buccaneers, though, is that they've come back in this game and shown some character. And if you're going to lose a game, you know, by some big numbers, you at least want to see what your people will do in a very difficult situation. I think if you can look for one positive out of this, is the fact that they've stayed in here. We're now deep into the 4th quarter, and they've stayed after it.
Chris Chandler has provided a pretty nice spark in place of Vinny Testaverde. And although Vinny was brilliant against the Lions last week, you can bet your bottom dollar there'll be a quarterback controversy here in Florida starting tomorrow.
It almost seems like it's tough for Vinny Testaverde to put 2 good games back-to-back. It seems like that's a problem for him.
The Rams will work in the shadow of their own goalpost. And they quickly give it off to Kurt Warner. Only got to about the 5-yard line. Mark Robinson came up from his safety spot to make the hit. It'll be second down and a long 8.
This is exciting for you offensively when you're backed up like this. This is when you get that esprit de corps going in there, because you know you're in dangerous territory and you have to pop it out.
The Buccaneers need to force a Rams punt. Even more so, they'd love to force a turnover. Everett to Holohan, and Pete Holohan hauls it in, and that gives the Rams some breathing room out to the 21-yard line.
And Jim Everett really had his choice of receivers that time. He had Holohan inside, Damone Johnson down near the sideline. It was a pick 'em, and then we see Holohan going off. Looks like he's bumped up a little bit. But watch Everett. You have 2 receivers open on the play. Holohan there, 81, and Damone Johnson, who's just out of your sight, is all the way over on the sideline, coming back in now, and he was open as well.
I think it was the way Holohan landed. I don't think it was the hit. I think his left leg gave out a little bit as he planted when he made that catch, and he goes off. The Rams have a first down at their own 21. Play action. Everett to throw. Threw it behind Henry Ellard, incomplete. Other scores around the league today on the second NFL Sunday. In the NFC Central for early supremacy, the Bears leading Green Bay. 10-point game, Jets in the fourth quarter. Finally, Buffalo on the board.
New England and Indianapolis. New England leading that one by 6, and Philly still in a nip-and-tuck battle with Phoenix. 21-17.
All those games in the fourth quarter, as this one is, with 7:09 to go, and the Rams leading 35-14. Kurt Warner trying to get outside. He can't get there. A nice open field tackle by Mark Robinson. Robinson and Hamilton, those 2 seventh-year safeties back there, and they've been together quite a while as they played collegiately together at Penn State. And now with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're kind of a bookend pair back there.
And they've really had to come together and keep that secondary intact because, as we mentioned earlier, Ricky Reynolds was a holdout, and Haddock's number 45. The Bucs weren't really planning on using him a great deal early on, and then the situation evolved so that you have cornerbacks that you're not really used to playing with. Rodney Rice is also a free agent, playing for them and starting for them last week.
Bucs will blitz Everett on 3rd and long, and they get to him. Winston Moss with the sack. They had to prevent the Rams from converting that 3rd down, or they would not have had another chance, and they got to it.
Winston Moss, number 58. You see him up there already in the blitz stance, and he just comes right by Doug Smith and gets in for the sack. What you want to do if you're Doug Smith, you want to get your hands out and try to stop his initial move. If you do that, then you can break his stride. If you don't, he gets to the QB.
Of course, Smith has to make the snap first, and he had a hard time getting that right hand up.
Oh, boy. And I'm sure all of his joints are creaking after being in the league 13 years.
English got a nice punch. Backs up Willie Drury to the 35. Got about 7 yards on the return. And with just under 6 minutes to go in the ball game, the Rams 35-14.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by the United States Marine Corps, the few, the proud, the Marines. AC Delco Automotive Parts. AC Delco, it's like buying time. And by Federal Express, the best way to ship it over there.
A long, hot day at Tampa Stadium for the Buccaneers, trailing 35-14 with just under 6 minutes to play in the ball game. Coming up next on the NFL Today, our second game of our doubleheader. Many of you will see the Redskins and the 49ers. Can't wait to see Ronnie Lott against the posse of Ricky Sanders and Gary Clark and Art Monk. That's worth the price of admission in itself. Some of you will see the Giants in Dallas and the Saints and the Vikings. That's all coming up next. Our doubleheader game here on CBS.
The heat is on in Tampa Bay. Bucs trying to get have some success with this drive. Probably mixing it up the same kind of combination they had on the previous drive where they got down to about the 2.
They split Gary Anderson as a 3rd receiver. He's to the bottom of your screen. 1st and 10. Chris Chandler feeling the pressure. He won't get out of there. Dropped way back at the 28-yard line. Let's get an NFL Today report from Greg Gumbel in New York. Greg.
Brad, the Chicago Bears making a heck of a statement in Green Bay. Harbaugh to Neil Anderson, 16 yards. Anderson's second touchdown of the day. The Bears all over the pack, 31-13 in the fourth. Back to Brad and Dan.
I thought the Bears, your old team, were supposed to be down a little bit this year.
I'll tell you what, they thought they had a quarterback controversy going there. It looks like Jim Harbaugh kind of settled that issue.
They might have a controversy here in Tampa with Chris Chandler in relief of Vinny Testaverde. 2nd and 25 after he was sacked for a 15-yard loss there. Off play action, wants to throw the screen. Anderson slipped and got back only to the 31.
Brad, I want to tell you something, though. Bobby Humphries played that screen about as well as you can have a screen played. He avoided 2 linemen and still got in on the stop. That was tremendous.
Bobby Humphrey already with a touchdown on an interception of 44 yards today.
Now, look out on the left side of the screen. Bobby Humphrey is 5'10", 180 pounds. Now, watch him. He's dealing with all those big linemen out there, throwing these blocks out. And there's McHale's block right there. He still gets up and gets in on the tackle.
Lucky if he could see Gary Anderson out there.
McHale's 280, you know.
3rd down. And the Bucs need almost 22 here from the shotgun with 4 wide receivers. The Rams have a safety back at midfield. Chandler got it out close to Harvey. Kevin Green had him almost in the grass back at the 25. Buccaneers will have to punt. Mark Royals in. And the Rams will send 2 men deep. Mickey Sutton with Henry Ellard back there in tandem. I would say the Rams have the return on. Maybe Royals will throw the ball here, huh?
He better have a good arm. 21 yards.
Got a nice punt. Fair catch by Sutton, called for and taken at the 19. Can't run with the ball after the fair catch, though, Mickey. 4:14 to go in the ball game. It's 35-14 Los Angeles. Road, and they're making a pretty good job of it here in Tampa today.
Yeah, you know, they started out going to Berlin and playing out there and came back regular season. You know, you play in Green Bay. Now they're down here in Tampa Bay. I like to see their frequent flyer miles. Ray Perkins would just like to get his offense flying and get his defense to stop this Ram offense that has been so successful today.
Not the way they were looking for their home debut, that's for sure. At the 19-yard line, a Ram 1st down. Cleveland Gary got about 3. Mark Robinson in on the stop. Keith McCants has played a good portion of this ball game now in the second half for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the #1 draft choice.
Fred, we had an opportunity to meet with him last week, and he was saying how frustrating it was when he came out of the draft. There were so many stories spread out about him, about his knee, about his social life and his habits and all the rest of that. He said he felt so bad for himself and his family. I told him it almost sounded like he was the Great Gatsby. There were so many stories about him.
Last 2 weeks, Jim Everett averaging 3 touchdowns a game and 300 yards a game in the air. Not too bad. Gary bounced off 1 man and got it out to the 25-yard line. Harry Hamilton holding on for dear life, trying to bring down 226-pound Cleveland Gary. There's Kevin Murphy, the outside linebacker. Just over 3 minutes to go. Murphy's had a big day, but his team's coming up short.
Told you about the linebackers for the Buccaneers being a very active group. One of the problems the Bucs have had today is in the secondary. But Jim Everett just riddled them.
Everett with a 4-touchdown performance. Blitz got it to Cox, and Aaron Cox is about might pick up the 1st down. Rodney Rice was there covering.
I was thinking maybe Jim Everett's trying to keep up with Ty Detmer.
That's right.
Maybe they got a little competition going.
Obviously, the Buccaneers were hoping for a better result today.
Yeah, I think that, you know, quite naturally you think when you're playing at home that the heat, if it's going to play a factor, is going to affect your opponent rather than you, and certainly didn't have too much of an effect on the Rams. But I think, again, when you score that quickly and from long distances, you don't have to spend a lot of time out there.
That long flight back to Los Angeles won't seem so long. As we work our way down to the 2-minute warning. 2-minute warning with the Rams in command over Tampa Bay. To go, 35-14, and the Buccaneers, and Ian Beckles included there, the rookie in the middle of your screen, obviously dejected.
The guy who had to get a visa to come here and play. He's from Canada originally, went to school in Indiana. Il parle le français. He speaks fluent French.
Oh, you're smooth. two games in 2 days and you're still on.
Yeah. His mom is from Guyana and his dad is from Trinidad.
He's a delightful young guy to be around and a heck of an offensive lineman with a bright future in the NFL. First down, Rams. Just try to keep it on the ground and eat some clock. Penalty markers down as Cleveland Gary takes it off the right side. Rams appear to have maybe moved to the left side of the line.
75 offense. First down.
Irv Pankey, the left tackle. Irv's getting tired out there. He's an old man.
Will the clock operator please reset the clock to 2 minutes?
The Rams have been penalized only 3 times today. If you don't feel like you've seen many flags flying around, you're right. 3 penalties and no turnovers. That's the way you win football games.
Old Irv Pankey said he wants to be a coach at a junior college when he gets out of football. Sure, the first thing he'll tell his people is don't jump offside.
Gary bounces off the right side, cuts back to the left, trying to get a block from Everett. And he takes it all the way out to the 40-yard line. Jim Everett, the quarterback, out there trying to lead the way, but Gary's faster than Everett is.
He wasn't trying to lead the way. He was trying to get out of the way. Jim Everett, yeah, I do a block for you. Hey, what do you want? Did you see me go down there? Watch Everett here now. What happens? Cleveland Gary hits him on the right side. Nothing there. Reverses field. Outstanding speed going back to the way. There's Everett's block right there. It was a little lay-down deal. I don't know, you know, if I'm going to grade that, I'd have to put that one right off the scale.
That's the kind of blocks you get from a GQ cover boy. Second down, a yard to go for the Rams. Cleveland Gary. It'll be close to the first down. Jim Scow, acquired for the Cincinnati Bengals just a couple of weeks ago, in on the stop.
Brad, when we had our conversation with Jim Everett, we were talking about him and his practical jokes, and one of the things he told us he did was he put some of that analgesic in the shorts of one of his linemen. And he said that lineman still doesn't know that he did it, but I suppose if they listen to this tape, the lineman that we're talking about will know exactly who did it, and Jim Everett will be in a lot of trouble.
Everett's a great guy to be around. He's a lot of fun. Everett says, I'm just a regular guy. Well, he doesn't have a regular salary, but he is kind of fun to talk to, that's for sure.
John Robinson calls him a gym rat. He said he'd be working out, playing some kind of ball anywhere, anytime.
Pick up basketball games, doesn't matter. Golf, whatever. Flags down again. And now here in the final minute, we've got penalty markers all over the place.
False start, 67 offense, third down.
Duval Love picks up that penalty. Tonight on CBS, it is Premier Sunday. He sold Saddam Hussein a super gun that some people think could fire chemical weapons and someday nuclear warheads. That's why Gerald Gold was taken out by a couple of hitmen. Who sent them? You can find out when 60 Minutes premieres for the 23rd time tonight. Then it's Murder, She Wrote, followed by the CBS Sunday movie Earth Force. That's all tonight on Premier Sunday, right here on CBS.
Earth Force is up there on that Rams offensive line today.
They're moving some earth, that's for sure. Gary spins twice and got a first down. Tough run. Cleveland Gary, second year out of Miami.
Brad, when you make a run like that and you spin around, do you get yards for that too, or is it just like, you know, north-south?
They should give him a couple extra for that 360.
Well, I tell you, that's how come those linemen like him so much, though. Gets in a little bit of trouble because he isn't getting that blocking up there, but then he has the ability to pull him out.
As he told you this week, out at the Rams practice, he says, I'm almost there. He looks like he's there today. Been banged up a little bit, had a lower back problem that kept him out of part of the preseason. And John Robinson says if we were going to use just one running back, he'd be the guy. You see the seconds ticking away. This will be the final play of the ball game. Jim Everett to one knee. And the Rams, who started shaky against Green Bay, losing by 12 last week, have gone on the road again. John Robinson's team, successful on the road so many times over the last couple of years, they are again today. Jim Everett with 4 touchdown passes and an easy win over the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 35-14. Greg Gumbel's going to be coming up the NFL today. Scores and highlights from other games around the league. And then don't forget, we've got a second game coming up with our NFL doubleheader today.